My name is Shawn. My own parents were sent to these boarding schools. Every male has been institutionalized. Every female has been institutionalized. If you grow up on a reservation, you know what it's like to get yelled at in the morning. You know what it's like to get yelled at night. My dad yelled at us to tell us what to do. Do your homework, do your chores, clean your room, eat breakfast, relax. The only time I felt comfort and warmth with them was when my parents were speaking Navajo, when we were at a ceremony. It was nice when we were around family, but when we were outside in public, the institutionalization was over. So we grew up like that. My dad would sometimes kick our beds in the morning, ordering us to get up and go for a run. When we got older, he added cussing. Drop your cocks and grab your socks. My dad was sent to Gallup to boarding school. The Bureau of Indian Affairs forced his removal from his family, and then he just never went home. He would go home in the summertime, but his parents didn't want him around. They just kept asking, when are you going back to school? So he grew up institutionalized. He said he saw his sister once on the playground, and she was in a grade higher. She just got mad at him because of how poorly he was dressed. She said, people look at how you dress here. You look sloppy. You're embarrassing. Then she fixed him up. That's the only time my dad saw his sister. When it comes to my mom, she went to a boarding school on the reservation. She said the dorm matrons would wash her mouth out with soap. If to wash her mouth out with soap, she talked Navajo or beat her. These dorm matrons were usually Navajo kids who grew up in these same dorms because you never got to go home. They would beat them if they spoke their own language. So it was natives hurting other natives. By the time I showed up, it was my mom saying to me, I'll wash your mouth out with soap if you say something wrong. I went to high school for a week at Rough Rock Demonstration School in the late 90s. It was one of the last boarding schools to use Navajo language and remain open on the reservation. They were priding themselves on that. But actually, they weren't teaching Navajo or speaking Navajo at the class. The teachers would just stand around and talk about nothing for an hour and a half. These were long classes. We weren't learning anything. But instead, they were preparing us for the military, I felt. In the morning, you had to make your bunk bed. You had to clean your place. And I remember that my dad was with the army, taught us how to do that. So I already knew how to make my bed with 4-inch folds. The matrons would bang on trash cans with flashlights at 4 in the morning, cussing at you. I heard stuff my dad used to say to me. He comes from army barracks. It's army barracks language. I didn't stay a week. I ran away from boarding school. The violence that happened there made me decide to leave. I ran away. I didn't get caught and I didn't go back. I was proud of that. I felt connected to the legacy of Indians who ran away from boarding school who did not get caught. Growing up, Navajo war stories gave me strength, but it took me a while to be proud of my heritage. My mom used to fix my hair traditionally, and we went to public school, so I got picked on so hard for that. It was my heritage, but it was not something I was super proud of. It's only after high school, maybe after boarding school, where I started putting all this stuff together and I realized they took away our language on purpose. Everything I witnessed that week, that's assimilation. I saw it. I had to go through it to see it. Looking back, I see the idea of assimilation had been so internalized that we were practicing it on each other and we didn't even know it. I learned that the final nail in the coffin when you're ending a race of people after taking away their language, taking away their culture, taking away their identity, taking away their land, taking away their connection to their ancestors is to ask them, how come you don't know your language? Telling them you should know your language. It's embarrassing that you don't know your language. And then you did everything that you could to take that person away from it. I know my dad would get really mad when we didn't speak Navajo. My mom would always try to stand up for us and say they're trying their best. She was a person that taught us how to read books a lot. She wanted us to shed our accent to survive in the Western world. She knew that you would get bullied and get laughed at if you spoke English with a Navajo accent. At the same time, she also liked when we talked Navajo. That duality was kind of hard for me. I don't speak my language as much as I should, but I don't care. That doesn't take away from the fact that I got scars and my brown skin. I'm Navajo whether I like it or not. I'm hated for it, and I survived so much to be on this earth. So you can't tell me who I'm not and who I am. I think that we, the Navajo people, are fighters. We fought. We're fighting. We still fight. We fight each other. Whether it's wrong, whether it's right, it doesn't matter. We still fight to live, and I like that. Navajo has a war name when they're born. I like that I have a war name. When my son questions his identity, I tell him, you know who you are. You know where you come from. You grew up here. You went to my mom's house. You know what the land is like out there. You've built a fire out there to keep your family warm. They can't take that away from you. That's you. So never forget where you come from. That's your blood. You don't have to be full blood. You have an identity. You are connected to the land. You're Navajo.